on, and for some reason, I don't know why, it looks like Facebook is not responding to our.
What have you
I
done?
don't
I
know
don't
because
know.
I don't
It's
even
just
hear
saying it's not
music.
even letting it come up.
God,
Did
Greg.
y'all
Hey,
hear any
Facebook,
music?
what's
But
wrong
we
with
are
you?
Did
we
y'all
are
hear
on
any music, or is
YouTube
it
and
just me?
Twitch.
Oh, it says that it was deleted on Facebook.
I don't see how,
Uh-oh.
but we are on YouTube and Twitch, so we are going to continue.
Okay.
I
Did
mean,
you guys hear
no,
the music, or was it just me? I heard nothing.
I heard the music.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I was getting my rock on.
I heard
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, there you go.
I wonder why I heard
but
nothing.
anyway,
I
well,
left out.
I'll have to go in. I guess this will be a YouTube special. There we go.
There you go. YouTube and Twitch.
And we can always
I'll
put it
post
on
the link.
Facebook right afterwards. I
I'll
mean,
post it. I got you.
there we go. Sorry about that, everyone.
Oh,
It's
I
been a-
blame you. I blame you.
It's been a long month.
Been a long
But-
week.
It's only the
Yeah.
21st. I mean,
Yeah,
Well,
it's
it
been-
started with Betty White, and
3
it just
days.
kind of went downhill from there. So
Yeah.
Hey,
With
there's still-
Louis today and Meatloaf too.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
come on.
Louis Anderson, rest in peace. He was a really funny guy. He was
I
a
mean,
big
like,
guy like me.
The 20s, this decade has got to stop. Just please turn around and do a 180 because this is messed
Yeah.
up.
well, now,
Very.
we're not technically, I guess we technically are kind of in a pandemic still, but kind of we're not under house arrest. I'm just saying, we're not
This
under
is
house
true.
arrest.
I know a lot of people have been sick lately.
True.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, true.
I was.
But like I said, I'll have to we'll have to fix the Facebook thing. It will be
I
ready
got
for
it.
the next
Twitch.
show.
I
I'm
just got the
posting
notice
it
that we're on
now. I'm
Twitch.
Get it
posting
together,
it.
Zuckerberg. What's wrong with you?
Give me a minute.
It's
Give
that
me a minute.
it's that new meta thing.
Hey, just give me a
Oh.
minute.
No,
My
no.
fingers don't go that fast, okay? Give me a minute.
Come on, Amy.
I know. I'm failing.
We need to add a little something to that tea over there.
Well,
Anyway,
it already has a little something in it, but it's kind of one of those. It's a need to know basis.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And we don't need to
We,
know.
we could play Guess What's in My Cup.
I need some of that.
How
I
about
need
guess
some
what's
of
in
that.
my can?
It's a teacup or a coffee cup. It
You
could
never
be
know.
anything.
What extra
But-
little something you got in there? Hey, I love a good time. Okay, like good time should be my middle name. I'm all about that. So
If
yeah.
Texas were a person, it
But
would
the
be
one
Amy.
thing I do want to ask is, I hope everyone is excited about our February lineup.
Yes.
Yes. Duh.
How'd y'all like the
Stupid
new
question.
videos that I did with
Stupid
it?
question. Just playing.
Did y'all like that video that I did with it?
Yes.
Yes.
I thought y'all's promo was great too on YouTube that you did. Because
Thank
I
you,
love
thank you.
that it was like the backstage thing. Like, okay, this is how we do it. Because that's how it works, right? Like, it's not always perfect the first time. You got to go through this stuff.
You know what though? That like 90s song, "This is how we do it," totally escaping my mind. When you mention that, you're like, "This is how we do it backstage." I don't know why, but that song is now playing in my head. So if
And
anyone
now
wants to
it's
know what
Playing in
theme
mine.
song-
Thank you.
yeah, so what theme song is Amy's life today? It is that song. Okay, like just throwing it out there, fun for all. Okay, we all need a good laugh. That's my theme song, at least in my brain. So
There we go. But anyway, today's guest, we have Dan Sandoval here with us, and he's just getting to voice acting. And what I would like to know is one of the first things is what decided you to get into voice acting?
What decided me to get into it was just way back. I'm a theater kid from way back. I started doing theater in about 7th grade and realized I could make people laugh, and that was cool. I liked making people laugh because I'm just kind of goofy guy anyway. And I've always been a mimic. Like even when I was a little kid, I would just try to mimic cartoons and other things that I saw and realize that I could do that stuff, make people laugh and just bring some joy into the world. And I did it all through high school. I competed in speech and theater. We were runner-up for state for UIL my junior year. I almost went to state my senior year in speech and debate stuff. I never did debate. I can't do. I'm not a lawyer, but like we did humorous interp, dramatic interp, prose poetry, and that was all under my director Lori Stewart, Kim Stinson. They were the ones that taught me all that, and they were amazing. Lori's gone on to win tons of awards like throughout the state and nationally. So I had really good training. I had really good teaching and doing it, but I never thought I was like good enough. I was like, I don't think I can really make it. You know, I should go get a real job, kind of thing. Because I'm late to the game. I'm 42. Oh man, okay. And you know, but I just kind of decided back in 2018. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a shot and see if I can make it. You know, see if I am good enough. I'm gonna test myself. I'm gonna push myself, and it started at Anime Fest 2018. That's where it started. I took my oldest son. He wanted to go to Anime Fest. I had never been. We had been to a few cons before as a family. I have 3 sons, married 20 years to my best friend and my amazing wife, Martha, who supports me and everything. And we have 3 boys. And we've been to a few cons. We had actually had our own store for a while called Not Just Books, where we sold books, comics, old toys, vintage stuff, just nerd stuff. That's what we're into, you know. I wasn't super into anime, and my kids were, and so like I went to check it out and just shop around, kind of like, I'm dad for the day. I will watch you and see what you do. And then I saw that they had this thing on voice acting, and I was in a breakout session with a studio called Starman Studios from Dallas, and I was like, I'm gonna check that out, you know. And I went and watched and listened and paid close attention, and I was like, you know what? I think I could do that. I really do think I could make it. I could give it a good try. And
so what have you done for that?
Oh gosh.
You just lost Greg.
Oh my God!
I picked you out again.
You didn't do it.
Scared him.
I went like this,
Oh
and he
my
was
gosh!
gone.
I'm
I
so
didn't
sorry,
do it.
Stop
Greg.
waving him off, CJ.
I'm sorry.
You did the first
Greg.
time. I did the second one.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened.
Magic,
that time.
magic over here.
Oh
Anyway,
my
so what
goodness.
all have you done since then? Because I know that you said some stuff has come up also since September.
Yeah,
So what
a
all
ton of
what all
stuff.
you got going on?
So this is a few years back, and I was slow getting into it, but then I started. I actually went back to my theater teacher and was talking to her about you know doing voiceover and what do you think and just this and that, and she actually had me do a reel for her class. She gave me this list, and it was like 100 and something voices or different people to try and impersonate and do voices of, and it's on my YouTube page somewhere down there in the bottom. And so I gave it a whirl. I had a little USB snowball mic. It wasn't great. I hooked it up to GarageBand on my laptop, and I was like, let's give it a try. And I think I did about like 80 of the voices. Like,
wow.
Not great. Not all of them were great, but you know, they were decent or whatever, close enough. Close enough for horses.
Hey, it's okay to tune to your own horn, man, and be like, yes, they were badass. Like, it's okay. You can
I'm
toot
not
your
trying
own
to be
horn.
like that, okay?
It's
Well, and you
okay.
got like
I'll
80.
toot it. I'll toot your horn. Okay, I'm sure
Oh
that
my
they were better than you just said. Okay.
Yeah, and
they were-
80
they were-
different ones.
they were pretty
That's
good.
crazy.
They were pretty good, you know. But and then I started doing some other stuff on YouTube and TikTok, and I would just I'd do like all Simpsons voices. Like I try to do every different voice that I could from The Simpsons, and then Family Guy, and then other stuff. And like I said, I've just always kind of been a natural mimic. I'm not the best impersonator. I'm not the best, at anything. But I mean, I'm decent, But I built the craft. That's the thing, is like voice acting is acting at its core. It's trying to find that character, not just trying to like. It's great if you can do a ton of voices, but like ultimately, what a director's looking for at the end of the day is, do they believe you? That's what Jeremy Iman, who's in a ton of different stuff, Fire Force, tons of different things. He's Funimation director that I got to be under. Anyway, I started taking classes. I did the YouTube thing. I did some TikTok. I tried to all do it on my own. I tried to make my own demo reels, but I realized that I really needed to go and get some classes and get some training and be with the pros as much as possible. Like if you want to be a pro, then be a pro. Like get pro equipment. Like do different things that will push yourself towards that level. Little by little, not all at once. I kept that USB mic for a while. But yeah, and just I started taking classes with that same studio, which they used to be with Starman Studios, James Larrabee and Brian Massey. They used to be with Starman Studios. They started IO8 Studios here in Dallas. And I started taking classes up there. I started networking. I started honing the craft, just working as much as I can, trying to take any auditions that I could find anywhere. Because, it's not that easy to find stuff. Just, I think I started that my first cast role was actually my third thing that I auditioned for, which I was super psyched about. I was just like, oh my gosh, I got something. Yeah. And it was for a machinima. If you guys know what machinimas are, they're like, they take different things from games, like Grand Theft Auto or Skyrim or and they'll build their own story within that game and get people to do character voices for it. So I got cast in one for a Grand Theft Auto Machinima. It was they wanted
Grand Theft Auto there. That was the first game I ever played was Grand Theft Auto Vice City on PlayStation 2. I'm not even gonna lie, and I have played every single one since then. I'm a dedicated fan on my PlayStation. I don't even know which one I have, but I downloaded Vice City for it because they don't you can't play them on the upper levels. So I totally rigged that and downloaded it illegally, and I play that, and that is. I love it. I mean, it lets me get my violent side out without actually hurting people. It's quite fabulous. So you had me at Grand Theft Auto.
Okay, and which one is this then? Because I think I might need to write that one down.
Grand Theft Auto Vice City was probably one of the most popular of the entire franchise.
Yes. Oh my gosh, the other ones were not that great. But
and I actually never played it.
Oh my gosh.
I played the original. I
Oh my gosh. So I'm sensing we're gonna have a Grand Theft Auto Vice City party. Oh my gosh! You can't continue living not have played that game. I'm sorry, you just can't. You can take a katana and just go and get waterfalls of blood because you're just running down the street chopping people's heads off, and it's perfect. It's amazing.
So then you know the character Tommy Vercetti, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
So that's who I auditioned for, and they told me in the audition they were like, he needs to sound like Ray Liotta. I was like, okay, he needs to sound like Ray Liotta. Come on, what are you guys doing? And then I threw a little bit of myself into it on the audition, and I was like, you think you're gonna take over my empire and my businesses by yourself? And the dude loved it, and he was just like, that's spot on. And I was like, I didn't even know. I'm just like, half of my accomplishments are because I was oblivious, because I am late to the game.
Those
I don't know
the greatest times, man. Telling you, when in doubt, wing it or just do it.
I did an audition the other day, and they said it needed to sound like Jacksepticeye, and I was like, "Who is that?" And my wife and kids are like, "You don't know who that is? Oh my gosh!" And I'm like,
"I don't know.
I have no idea who that is."
Okay, so I don't feel so bad.
Ray Liotta, I know, but that one I have no idea.
Jacksepticeye, I guess he's pretty big on YouTube, like a YouTuber per se. I didn't know though, but I'm like.
Okay.
They said he's Irish. That's all I said. I was like, he's Irish, and he kind of talks fast and like this, and so I was like, all right. And so I did the audition like that, and then I went and listened to the guy, and I was like, okay, that's not too bad. So actually, I'll listen to it over and over. Anything I'm trying to copy, and for anybody out there that wants to do voiceover, if you want to sound like somebody else, the best advice that I possibly could give you, and Frank Caliendo, who's probably the best at that, would say the same thing. Listen to it over and over and over and over and over and over, and keep trying to copy it. And there's some voices that I still can't do unless I'm hearing it. Like Optimus Prime.
To me. I always wanted to do it because I'm just so animated, but I should probably just do children's movies because I'm not,
No,
unless you want a ghetto, unless you need someone to go ghetto real quick, because I can do that. Okay, I can be like, whoo, what? No,
you don't have to do a million voices. You don't have to be able to do tons. You can have just one that's animated, and again, a director wants to believe you. And if you're just genuine, that's the best way to go.
Okay, so listen, because I feel like me and you are very similar.
We on the same page, girl.
Going on.
Okay,
no, I ain't even playing. My first job was
you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. Greg has heard me do it. This is the only show I've ever done it on, and I'm not gonna do it tonight.
Oh God,
but
here we go.
I have always thought that I would be fantastic at voiceovers, right? And so my husband, who I love dearly, is Indian. Okay, he's a first.
Oh no.
And so I do. Oh my gosh, this is so bad. I do the best Indian accent ever. So when I'm really upset with him or trying to poke fun at him, I start talking to him like that, and then he's his mouth drops, right, and he just looks at me. He was just like, "Why do you do that so good, being a white girl?" Right? Oh, it's so great. I love it. It's the greatest thing ever. No, I'm not going to do it.
Come on. You've already done it in one.
You've done it before.
I don't know. I'm like,
this actually brings up something really great, and what's actually going on in voiceover is there's a huge thing with voices you can do and voices you can't do based on who you actually are.
Yeah.
Even though I can try to sound like someone who's African American, I'm not supposed to now.
Yeah.
And that's understandable. Same thing, Hank Azaria, one of my heroes, who does so many voices on The Simpsons and so many other voices. He stopped doing Apu because it was offensive to people. You know what I mean? He stopped, and I get it. But at the same time, I'm that guy that's like, who does it the best? Who can if
Oh, he misspelled
whether
Amy
you're actually
again.
that or not, I mean, it's not. So it's a hard place to be in because you don't want to be offensive to anyone, but at the same time, stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason. I'm married to a beautiful
I
half
kind of feel
Filipino.
like I can own that though because I'm married to my husband. I put up with his ass.
My
for so
mother-in-law
long.
from the Philippines.
Okay,
Okay.
I know. I put up with it for so long, but just because people are asking for it, I have to like be in the mood for it. I don't even know if I could do it now. I feel like I'm being put on the spot. But I'm just like, oh, Joshua, what are you doing? You can't do that today. What? No, you have lost your mind. You're just useless.
What
Sit
is
down.
the
I'll do it
problem with that?
myself.
I don't understand. Why the
See?
heck are you doing
Yes.
that?
Oh
It
my
doesn't make
gosh.
sense
No,
to me.
thank you for calling tech support. How can I help you?
Exactly. What
Oh
the
my
heck is
gosh.
wrong?
Yes. I'm telling you, we have a bond right now. Like, oh my gosh, this is just amazing. Like, thank you so much for coming on. This has been a delight. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I'm
plug
fine.
in the computer.
I'm very good at it.
Oh,
I'm very
okay,
good at it.
no.
The one I cannot do a British accent. I've tried so hard and
You know
I
what?
just can't. I can't.
You know what's funny is that there's not just like one British, like because
No,
that's
there's not.
that's something that somebody asked me one time. One of the directors.
There's not
they were
just
like,
one English either.
there was like, "How's your British?" And I was like, "Which British?" Right, because you got like this, like Cockney, right? Everybody knows that, right? And you've got upper crust, like we talk like this from Kensington.
I fail
There's
miserably.
so
Yeah.
many different. I mean, there's so many different, like just like in America, like where we have so many different dialects in our country, they have so many different dialects in their country as you go through it. But yeah,
I can't.
My favorite thing is my husband's from South Africa. He was born in South Africa. So when we're
it's
Yep.
great.
so when we're listening to him, it's like, okay, is this person Australian, South African, or English? So we kind of play a game of, okay, which one is it? By just listening to there's a slight difference between all three.
Hi, new Doug.
I love it. I love it.
That's
I love
always
that you started like later in the game because that honestly shows you can really do it, right? What was the actor's name in Game of Thrones that he had just started acting and he landed the Game of Thrones thing?
Wow.
It was like his like first couple ones.
It's not Dinklage, I know that.
No,
Definitely
who is
not.
it?
I love Peter Dinklage. He's amazing. I loved him before that show, but yeah.
I don't know. It was one of those like where they started acting later in life, and like Game of Thrones was one of like their first like couple ones that they had done. They did like a couple before, but they weren't as big as Game of Thrones.
I know.
I thought it was the.
It was Jon Snow, wasn't it? The guy that played Jon Snow?
Maybe I know. I thought it was the like smaller person.
That's not Peter Dinklage. It wasn't him.
No,
He
it
was in
wasn't
Elf. He was in so many other
He
movies.
was been in a lot.
No. Hold on.
Love him in
It's-
Pixels. Oh my god.
He's like Warwick Davis. He's been in so many
Yes.
things. that,
No, I know.
you
but
can't
it
even-
was,
like
it was
who
the big
we
one,
know what
because
type of person you are by how you know him.
No,
Yeah.
I know, but
Kind of one of those guys.
he started later in life acting. He started acting in like I want to say it was like his 40s that he like started acting.
I
now,
mean,
while Amy's looking that up, I have
Oh
to ask
my
y'all,
God.
did y'all hear that they were doing a Weird Al biopic?
I think I saw something about that.
And they have Daniel Radcliffe as the actor.
No way, Harry Potter as Weird Al?
As Weird Al.
No,
I don't know if I could see Harry Potter as Weird Al.
I can't see that.
I
Well,
could
you know,
totally
he's
see
much
it.
I
older
can't
now,
unsee
so-
that either. That thought's
I
in
could-
my
I
head,
could
and it's
see
No,
it.
I
right.
feel like
But that's, I mean, that is
Inspector Anus!
literally what I read. Daniel Radcliffe has been taken for.
I could see that. I could just because he could play like off the wall loony ass people. I could totally see it.
that's all I could see for that. But anyway,
No.
Mm-mm.
CJ's
I'm
like,
not even gonna go
"No,
there.
no,
I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna behave.
I'm not
Like,
either.
I'm not gonna do it. Dude, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole, but I am dying to. I feel like I'm gonna express I'm dying to, but I'm not
oh, I could see a lot of yeah.
I'm gonna pretend that I am a good person.
I already own the fact that I'm not, so keep going.
Oh, I know that.
I mean, what the
I put
hell?
out a facade though. I mean, like, whatevs.
So,
Oh my
what did we put in our cups?
Mine's
Yes,
straight
take a
7 Up.
guess.
Even though it's green, you can still see my 7 Up.
You're the next contestant. I used to do that on live streams, actually. Yeah, I would play that game.
I love
Guess
it.
what's in Dan's cup? Because it could be tea, it could be coffee, Could be whiskey.
Could be
You never
margarita. Could
know.
be.
Hey, I
You
was
never
only gonna.
know.
Hey, look, I will own it. I have tea and whiskey in mine. I'm not even gonna lie. Like that's legit what I have. It's
You know what?
Friday.
That's not what I would have guessed. I would have guessed you as a red wine or a margarita girl.
No, no. Oh
That
my
is
gosh,
totally where I would have
tequila,
gone.
No.
Yeah,
Tequila
you know-
and Amy do not mix. Okay, no. But whiskey, bourbon, and
No.
like everything else.
I'm
they
the
mix.
tequila person in
Oh
the group.
no!
No.
I am.
No!
No.
Jose Cuervo.
I will own the fact that I'm a tequila drinker. So it's like if I
Mm-mm.
go to my husband and ask him to make me a blue slushy, which is blue tarantula tequila, he knows I've had a really crappy day.
Yeah, see, if Amy drinks tequila, ghetto Amy comes out, and you're gonna have to bail me out, and no one wants to come bail me out when I've had tequila. Okay,
I'll
so,
bail you out.
no, I'm telling you, just leave me. I'll sleep better, and just let me sleep. Like, come get me the next day, but no, you think you've had a taste of ghetto Amy? You ain't seen nothing.
You don't know. You don't know.
No,
Now-
you don't.
Now, just so you know, I do a little bit of research before I do have people come on the show. And
Yeah.
your wife actually
Really?
did
Thank God.
Why?
you and your wife actually did a book together.
We did.
Oh.
We did it on ACX. It was called Santa versus Aliens.
Ooh.
I played all the male voices and the main narrator. My wife did all the female voices and elves and things that are too high because I can't pinch my toe. Yeah.
So how long did that take to do? And what a
Oh,
genius
gosh.
idea. Who came up with the idea?
My wife came up with the idea. She'd actually done a couple of audiobooks before. She's actually a great voice actress in her own right. She just
Okay.
hasn't like tried to get into it. She loves doing the audiobooks though and wants to do more of that, which she's amazing at. She's done one called Razor's Edge. And I know, Amy, you do a whole other like thing about authors, right? A whole other podcast. I'm a writer too, actually. Like, just so you
I
know.
do, yes. I was kind of thrown off by that. I'm like, I do a whole what? Like, no.
What?
Just so you know, I don't
just
just do the funny voices.
I'm sorry, I don't put out for authors. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm happy every other way, but not
I
down
hope
that
not.
avenue. Okay,
Jeez,
like,
I hope not. Oh my God.
I mean, that's what caught me
I
though,
have
man.
to
You're
say,
like, you do
I
authors,
needed
but
this
I mean,
show.
no, I know we're gonna backtrack real hard.
But
No,
no,
I do have
our
another podcast for authors. Yes, I do. I do that.
I started writing poetry when I was like 13, just as an outlet, and it just kept going. I got involved in creative writing in high school, and I did a lot of short stories and things like that. I've written one full manuscript that is yet to be
Okay.
published. It's still being edited, and probably forever will be. But Kathy Tyers, who has done some Star Wars books and some other amazing fiction of her own, did the first chapter of editing for it, and she basically told me I had chops for writing. So I kept with it and just kind of went the route that most of the great writers that I know did, and just started writing short stories. So there's actually a couple short stories on my podcast too, or on my podcast. This is your podcast. I only have a YouTube page, for crying out loud. But on my YouTube page, there's a couple that I wrote and narrated and kind of like dramatized that are on there too. So yeah. That's something that I'm very interested in as well as writing. But yes, my wife is amazing. She's so well read. She loves books, so much so that my entire house is overflowing with books everywhere.
That's
and
not a bad thing.
That's not,
Well,
it's not a bad thing.
She's a brilliant woman. That's what I'm saying.
She's a brilliant woman. I don't know how she ended up with me still. I'm still trying to figure that out, but I'm thankful every day. We did the book together. It was a lot of fun. Doing a book is more like a marathon versus other voice acting stuff where you're just, in the booth for maybe 2 hours, 3 hours at the most. I've only been in a pro booth, like paid, for an hour at the most ever.
Okay.
But they paid me more than they said they were going to. So that's really great. So
Nice.
The way that came about though was through going to these classes. And it's not a pay to play thing. Like, you don't go to these classes and just expect to get a job. Like, one of the directors, Morgan LaRue, who's an amazing voice actress and director for Funimation. She was one of the ones that was in that class directing me. And she said everything's an audition. And it really is. Like, everything you do when it comes to this industry is an audition. How you put yourself forward, how you approach people. Because you don't want to just go up to people that like are in the industry and be like, hey, check out my stuff. I can do some voices. It's really cool. It's really awesome. You don't want to be like that. You know what I mean? Like, because they're just people too, and they have a job and they have life, and there's a right way to do it, to submit for things, getting your pro demo reel together and all these different things. But anyway, she said everything's an audition. So I remembered from back in high school, like we would try to make my director laugh. Like that was our point. Like if we were doing a comedy, which CJ, you do a lot of with the Renaissance, right? So do you remember when they used to do Commedia dell'arte? Did you ever see that?
No, I actually just started this year. Greg is more the one that would.
Greg's the one that's been going
Yeah.
since that.
Yeah, this is my first year at the Renaissance Festival.
Well, there was one here in Dallas that, or towards Dallas, it was Waxahachie.
I do the Comic Con.
Scarborough Fair,
Mhm.
and Tim
Scarborough.
Shane, who's an amazing actor in his own right and has been in the area for a long time. They used to do this thing called Commedia dell'arte, which is a take on Commedia dell'arte, which is like Italian comedy with the long masks.
Mhm.
They have I'm Dr. So-and-so, or whatever. And like
Yeah.
there was always star-crossed lovers. There was always all these different things. Well, we did a couple of those shows in high school.
They're hilarious.
Yeah, they are. Even after all that they've like surpassed all this time, they're still funny today if you watch
Oh yeah,
one.
that and silent movies are hilarious.
Yes. And people don't even like it's just a forgotten art. But I used to be really involved in that, and so when we were doing those shows, like our whole point was like, let's make our director laugh. Let's get her to laugh. If we get her to laugh, then we know we did good. And so I took that same like premise like into the booth with me, and I was like, if I can get whoever I'm working with to laugh or to like, whatever, then I know I'm doing well. Well, I had her like laughing, and so I knew I was doing okay. And then like 2 or 3 weeks, almost a month went by after that class, and I get this email that's like, you're in the show, can you come to the studio? What day can you come to the studio? And I was like, I auditioned for a bunch of stuff. So I was like, I don't even remember auditioning for this. I was like, what the heck is this? And it was Tales of Luminaria, the game, which is Tales of is like a really popular series. They have a ton of different, I guess, almost 20 years within the franchise of it. And it's very anime. It's a lot like Genshin Impact, but at the same time, it's its own thing. And anyway, so I find out that I'm supposed to go to this actual studio and do a job, and I didn't know that it was her. But I get to the studio and it's her, and I'm like, oh my gosh, hey, what's up? And she was like, yeah, I just wanted to bring you in. You did really great in class and stuff, and I was really impressed. And so, I wanted to see what you could do in the booth. And so I was like, great, and I go in, and I guess it was like 4 different NPCs that she had me read for, and it seemed to go really well. I get out of the booth, and she was like, how did that feel? And I was like, it felt great. It was amazing. And she was like, good, I will bring you back again. I just had to make sure you don't suck.
Nice.
She's like, well, I am glad that I didn't suck. I'm just saying.
So I had her autograph this for me, and I had her sign it as, to Dan, I just had to make sure that you don't suck.
I love it.
Nice.
I love it.
So that was my big break. And then aside from that, I've done a couple of other games. I've done in just since October. My pro demo reel came out at the end of October. I got booked for 2 games and a couple other animated things.
Nice.
So I mean, just little by little, it's just happening. But it's 2 years worth of work before that I put in. And the nights when I was like, oh God, I'm never gonna be anything. Oh God. And my wife had to come in and like be like, it's okay, honey, you're fine, you're good.
You're okay. Yeah, I get it.
But yeah, so that's basically where I'm at now, and I've got a couple of things in the works, and I just keep auditioning, and I'm super thankful that you guys brought me on today. I know there's a lot of people that are out there that are aspiring voice actors. Again, all I can tell you is just push towards your dream. I actually did a top 10 things that I learned in my first year in voice acting, somewhere on my Instagram or TikTok or something.
Can you tell us what they are?
Mostly it's just, like I said, voice acting is acting. It's a craft. You got to hone it. I worked improv for a long time doing live streams on TikTok and another app called Live It, where I just go on for like an hour at a time, and I just improv. I would just come up with these different characters. I went to the thrift store and I bought a bunch of crap, like just different hats and like goofy wigs and scarves. And I would I'd put on a cowboy hat and be, all right, I'm Cowboy Dan. Come on down to Cowboy Dan Steakhouse. Guarantee you, if you go down, order any steak on the menu, we'll give you a free trip to the South.
Oh my gosh, you know
Love
what's funny is I can guarantee you, I can go to a restaurant here, in the boonies where I live, and someone in that restaurant talks just like that. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
That is so true. I'm not even like, and I'm born and raised like Texan, okay? So I've like heard that my whole life, but I literally live in a town I consider the boonies. And yes, I feel like if one person, 10 people in that damn restaurant sound like that. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I thoroughly actually love it because I know that I'm in the South and that makes me happy. But I'm just saying, yeah, nailed it. Yeah. Just, yes.
But yeah, so I mean, I had another one where I like had a little koala puppet from like when I was a kid, and I found an Aussie hat. And so, right, I'm Bruce, and this is Bruce as well. Right, we're from Melbourne, right? I mean, I just go off, and like the more, that's the other thing is be sustainable. Like anybody can do a voice for like a couple of lines, but can you sustain it? Can you be that character for 30 minutes? Can you be that character for an hour? And again,
Mhm.
I can definitely do that.
They just want to believe you. They want to believe you. It's screw the accent. They just want to believe you. If they can believe you, because it's not just about what you can do as far as tweaking your voice. It's about whether or not you can be believable, whether or not you can be real. And that's one of the biggest things I've learned. Just work hard at it, believe in yourself, because I've doubted myself so many times. I've had so like little self-confidence at sometimes, even though I knew I was good, it's like, I know I'm good, but it's like, I'm looking for other people's validation and approval. And it's like, I didn't need that even. It came after I put the work in, but I didn't need it the whole time.
Sometimes you just kind of need that to say, yes, you're on the right track. Keep going.
Exactly. And I'm so thankful to every single person that's tuned in from the beginning. I started doing my cats' voices. Like I have two cats, Navi and Tattle, which are named after fairies from the Legend of Zelda series. I'm such a nerd. Oh my gosh. But yeah, well, my wife and my kids, we all named them. But still, like, one day I was just like, I'm gonna give my cat a voice. And like, she plays fetch, my older cat, which not a lot of cats do that, but she does, or at least she used to. She's old.
I used to have one that did.
Yeah. And I was freaked out by it. And I was just like, I did this voice, and she was like an evil scientist or something. I was like, oh no, human, you're not teaching me anything. I'm training you. And like, and then it evolved into this other character, and like I did this whole series. And I would just record, because they're both weird. The other one's little, and like I ended up giving her a voice that sounded like a very effeminate man from Texas. Oh, hi y'all. What y'all doing right now? Come on, buddy. All right. But it just evolved. These voices evolved, and they became their own characters, and they became their own show. And I was just like, okay.
Animals are entertaining. We
Oh
have
my gosh,
mix that.
No. Do you know that movie, Scary Movie, and the butler in there? He's like, take my strong hand. That's what that voice sounded. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, I've heard that before. And that is what, oh my gosh, yes. I was like, I've seen this. I know it. Okay. I love it. Okay.
Say, animals are entertaining. We have one that's named Samson. I tell him that's Jeff Dunham's Walter in cat form. And then we have a dog that I say is like a combination of Scrappy Doo meets Jeff Dunham's Peanut. And so those are our animals. So, I mean, they could be entertaining.
Yeah. They're a lot of fun.
We have about 8 or 9 cats out here, and I'm just picturing all these different voices now on them. And it's like, oh my God, no.
We're gonna have videos of Greg doing that next. Oh my gosh. Stay tuned, everybody. Stay tuned.
He's gonna video them, and then he's gonna put voices to each of them, and that'll be his next YouTube video.
I put it out there at one point on TikTok, like for other people to send me their animals, and this lady had 2 lizards that were a male and a female lizard, and like, so I did.
Oh
it wasn't horrible, but
do
like,
we want to know where this is going, Dan? Do we want to know? That's
I think we're kind of sliding.
We're hitting the ratings.
No, it wasn't bad. It didn't go that far. Let's say.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Like, but it was like right there.
Oh my gosh. Well, but speaking of cats that do weird things like yours plays fetch, I have a black cat that for some reason loves me dearly. I don't know why, because I'm not mean to this cat, but I like to just irritate it. It's fun for me. I don't know. So it's one of the things. He loves it. Okay. I picked this cat out. So it's like we have that kind of relationship. Anyways, when I get a bath, he likes to come get a bath with me, and he'll sit like on the corner of my bathtub. and then he like eases in, and then like I don't know, I'm such an ass sometimes, and then I like scare him, and he's like ah, and he like gets out, but he's all soaking wet. It's hilarious. It is the greatest thing in the whole wide world. So if you haven't done that or anything, I'm sure that's on YouTube by somebody. It's freaking hilarious. So I recommend it 100%. That is, it brings me such joy. It does.
I used to have a cat that played fetch, and this cat was so weird. It loved water. Like we'd come home, and there would be stuffed animals in the toilet, and I'm like, it was a dolphin, so I'm like, oh, at least it's in the right spot. And then it would play in the water. How like usually the can opener would bring the cat running. Me doing the dishes would bring the cat running, and the cat would come in and play in the water. And I'm like, I'm trying to clean these dishes, dude.
My cat's such
weird.
My cat's such a fatty. I just have to walk into the kitchen, and she's like, meow, 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 meow. She knows I'm gonna end up giving her something, but
nice. See, I just want to get a bath by myself. Maybe that's why I'm so mean to my cat when he jumps in the bath with me, because I don't want to get out covered in black cat hair, because that is hard to get off. I don't care what no one tells you; it is harder than freaking dog hair to get off.
We've had lots of cats.
Wearing black with a white dog, that doesn't go good either.
I have a white dog too, man. I feel the pain on both levels. Both levels. Okay. I'm just saying, I feel this hardcore. But I am sorry that black cats don't like you. I never thought I'd be a cat person, or that, I pick a black cat because, whatever. But this cat, I held it. He purred. He went in the box. I mean, it was just like a whole thing. And then I'm a huge sucker. Like, it really put up a big battle, right? Like, oh, love me. No. And then my cousin, okay. Long story short, my husband is this huge cat person because he says that they're living furniture and you don't really have to take care of them. So the cat that he got is useless. It is the most useless animal that I have. Okay, I have a dog, and then I have my black cat. My black cat is a dog in a cat's body, and my dog is a cat in a dog's body. Okay, it's totally backwards, like back ass words. Okay, legit.
I had one of those before.
Yeah, and so it's like, then there's my husband's cat, who is like, honestly, I forget she's here half the time. I don't know where the hell she is. And like, I call her name and she just kind of pokes her head out, and then she realizes that it's me. And so she goes back in her cubby. I don't know. I guess I scared this cat. But anyways, we went to get this cat, and I was only going to get this cat, and I was going to go fade to the puppy section, right? It's like, yo, you love me. Let's get a puppy. Yeah. And 2 cats later. Okay. 2 freaking cats later, because I'm a sucker. Okay. I'm just saying, if you meet me in person, you can't pull these on my heartstrings, because I fall for them. And the lady was like, Amy, kittens do better in pairs, and we're having a sale on black cats.
Oh my, no
one wants black cats, and we're having a sale. So me, being my like sassy self, was like, okay, whatever. And she's like, if you hold this cat, it purrs because it just wants to be held and it loves it. Well, my husband is completely useless, okay? Because he told the lady, didn't even hold her or him, and he was like, you've sold me if you've sold her. Like, I'm good if she says yes. Well, damn, she puts the cat right here, it cuddles up, and it's just like vibrating and purring, which I'm kind of freaking out about because I didn't know anyone could do that.
Wait, it vibrated? Hold on. I'm not
yeah, like when it purrs, it was like, ooh, yeah. I'm just saying. It was
like
I did
moving
not know
things.
that animals did that. Dogs don't do that. Okay, dogs, they lick you and stuff, but they don't vibrate when they purr. It's weird. Okay, I'm just throwing. It's weird. Anyways, I was a sucker because she was like, no one wants a black cat, and it was born here, and everyone in its litter has been adopted, but it pulled on my heartstrings. Damn cat went in the box. I was like, God damn it. What the hell?
I'm not allowed to look at any animals because my husband knows I want to ask him to bring them all home.
Well, dogs will give you that loving look and like, oh, pet me, oh, feed me. You're such a god. Cats are like, I'm a god. You feed me.
Uh-huh.
Oh yes, I love you. You're great.
Door, and it's like,
just wait till you go to sleep. I'll kill you.
Yeah, my cat looks at me.
Ours sleeps in the bathroom, away from all of us, and the door shut.
No, mine cuddles with me, and then will look at me like, oh, you're still here. Fine here. And like, rubs up on me or whatever. And it's just like, I own this. Like, you're still here. Get out. We have this whole like sassiness to each other kind of thing. But I mean, I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
I think that was your husband poking his head in.
Oh, you guys, I have to go. That's me being summoned by, if I don't be on, he's going to kick my ass. So Dan, it was a pleasure meeting you. I'm so glad
it was great to meet you.
We
do voice work.
Right?
You
Okay, I'm
should.
totally gonna do it. And I like that we got to play, what's in the cup, because I love it. But
Mine's whiskey and
listen-
Coke, by the way. Just I never told you.
better.
But it's whiskey
Oh
and
my
Coke.
gosh, I need to come party with you. Even better. But I'm so glad that I got to be on at least most of the time with you. Keep doing what you're doing. I think it's amazing. And I can't wait to have you back on to see what kind of trouble me and you can cause together. But until then, I'm out, you guys. Stay tuned to see, I guess, what happens else on the Con Hour, or Greg's just going to mute my ass. One or the other. You never know. But anyways, have a good weekend,
Pull up
everybody.
the signs. Pull up the signs.
The hook that comes from the side.
Just kind of
Excellent. Stage left even.
something like that. That's awesome.
Man, guys,
You
this has
gotta
been
love
so
Amy,
much
though.
fun. This has been so great. I really, really appreciate you guys having me on. And yeah, I like what your show's dynamic is. Like, Greg, you're like a fatherly kind of guy that just oversees everything. Amy's like this wildness that just
Wild
can
child.
hardly be contained. I love her energy. I really do. She genuinely
Do I
makes
even
me
want
laugh.
to know where you've categorized me?
You're the reason, CJ. Like, you always bring things back to center. Like, you're like, okay, so we were talking about this, actually.
Yeah.
At least from what I've seen. That's
Or
just
when
an
Amy and I
outsider's
start going
perspective.
at it and Greg starts muting us, I'm like, Daddy's
I'm
mad.
fixing to go places, and people are going to be calling me Pops.
It genuinely is a great dynamic that you three have going on. And when I first got asked to be on the show, I think I got it through Wildcast.
It was Wildcast.
I didn't even know like what I was doing because I'm just like, I'll sign up for anything. Yeah. But I like to do my research too. I like to do my homework, and so I started watching the show, and I'm like, if I'm going to be on this, I should genuinely know what they do. And like,
Do you really
you guys
want to know what we do? Because half the time we don't know.
We don't know.
That's what makes it special. Yes.
Honestly. And I put that sometimes in the ads. I'm like, you never know what's going to happen, but you're going to know you're
don't.
going to have fun.
You're gonna have fun. You guys talk about all the things I love, like comics, Star Wars, nerd stuff. Just I love it. I love it.
Star Trek.
Yeah, I did. My brother's the Trekkie, okay, in the family.
Ah.
My dad and my brother were. I have some Trek.
You can see.
Thank
cosplayer,
you.
that's
I do
me.
a decent Lieutenant Sulu.
You do a
Oh
who?
my!
Who is that? Who was that supposed to be?
Oh my gosh! I've had it like I did it terribly just now, which is great. No Sulu. George Takei.
Oh, okay.
I'm ashamed that I would try to do that kind of impression of
Actually,
George
no,
Takei.
that's pretty good.
Pretty
Good
good.
job.
It was
there.
better after I said I was ashamed.
Yes. But I can hear it. Good job. Yeah, I'm the cosplayer. That's mine.
And my wife loves doing costuming, and we have plans for cosplays, but like we haven't gone as far as like she wants her own workshop, like where she can do stuff and fabricate. And me too. I want to do Gang Orca from My Hero really bad, which that's something I didn't mention. Like My Hero is actually a big part of why I got into doing voice acting. I started watching that show and like I just related to Midoriya. Like he has this dream and this desire to be a hero to save people with a smile on his face. And it's like my whole thing was like I just want to make people laugh. I just want to bring some joy into the world and do what I love doing. Because the first time I got into a real booth in front of a real director and let go, like I felt like I was a racehorse that never got to run full out.
Oh, nice.
Like I just felt like this is what I was meant to do. This is what I was supposed to do. And I put it off for so long because I didn't think I was good enough by whatever standards. And so it's just a message to anyone out there. Pursue your dreams. I mean, go after what matters to you. At the end of the day, I still work a 9-to-5 job. I still go. I'm an assistant community manager for a senior living facility.
Jeez, I bet you're a kick.
We're an independent senior living facility, so
I'm
it's
sure.
not- but yeah, we have a lot of fun. Do events up there and stuff. But like, it's still my 9-to-5. I don't get paid just to do voice work all the time now. That's my dream, is to eventually someday Disney's gonna, hey, would you like to come do a voice? Or Funimation or somebody is gonna be there at some point that I could actually do this and feed my family at the same time. That's the dream. But like, for now, I just do it because I love it. Because I mean, it's a small chance still that I'll really make it. But you know what? I'm gonna give it everything I got, plus ultra.
Well, and that's what you got to do. Like for writing, I started with one book. Now I have my 16th is coming out next Tuesday. I mean, you start little, and nobody starts big. If
Books
you
are
start
hard.
big, you're gonna fall.
Books are so hard. That's why I kept with short stories.
Kind of
'cause,
go
like,
up.
Like I thought about trying to do a thing where I could like write a chapter a week type of thing, like to push
No.
myself, but like books are hard. books are hard to narrate or to do. What does it say? Love
Yes,
what you do.
Trevor, totally agree.
Yes.
Yes.
Love what you do for a
absolutely.
living, and you'll never hate going to work. And I don't. And I'm an author, blogger, podcaster, and publisher. So I don't hate going to work because it's my house. It's like
That's the
my
goal.
commute. The commute is
Can I
from
just
my
not leave
bedroom to the
home?
living room.
Like everybody else is like against when it happened with the quarantine, because that's kind of what got me into it. Was like
And I'm
I
like,
was
no,
quarantined.
I live here. And I had to keep telling people, I'm like, yes, I appreciate the fact that you're home, but please leave me alone because I'm still working.
Yes.
I have to create. My God, come on!
If you want books,
Yeah.
you have to leave me alone.
It's a
Like
process.
you said,
It's
I'm
hard.
author podcaster, and it's
Mhm.
just like I keep myself extremely busy just with this show itself. It's really
But you do all of the background stuff. We just kind of show up and have fun. But you're the one that does like all the hard work. And
Pay
sometimes
no
you don't get
attention to
credit
the
for
man
it,
behind the
but
curtain.
you do. You do all that background stuff. And of course we have our, our begging, like Michael Shanks, Sean Astin, Bill Wheaton, Ryan Reynolds. Any of
that's-
those listening?
I got one coming up that we're just doing a final date.
That's
But-
why
Is
I'm
one of those
I'm
from my
really
list?
thankful. I know you guys have had some big people on the show, and like I'm like I don't feel like I'm anybody yet. I'm trying to get to that point where I can meet these people and be like, hey, how's it going? Would you like? I think I could play Paul Giamatti's illegitimate son in anything. Like
I mean,
maybe.
they're really
everybody
cool.
is somebody. Everybody is somebody.
Everybody
is
Less
someone.
yourself.
And when you talk to them, they're just down to earth people. Like DC Glenn, shoot, we talked for what, an hour and a half with him?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin Sorbo was an hour, but I mean, they're just regular people who have been working this whole line this whole time and kind of going up the ladder.
Yep.
They're still
Stephanie
people.
Nadoni,
We
Samantha
started-
Wood.
Aldoni, Steve Andrino, yep.
We
Stephen
started going
King.
to get autographs for our mercs that we had. Like my wife and I went for the shop. I think the first one we did was Ray Park, Darth Maul. We went and got his autograph on a figure and a comic, and I think we ended up selling one, and the other one we gave away as a gift. My wife got Chuck Norris's. She got oh gosh, Lou Ferrigno.
Wow.
She got a couple others, and we started just doing that because we were like, well, if you can get this person's signature on it, it ups the value of whatever it is that thing. And we were doing it more as a business, but it was also just cool just to meet these people and just talk
Mhm.
to them and just be like, hey, what's up? Because at the end of the day, like so many of the things that we love and appreciate, like it becomes a part of you,
Mhm.
And I don't even know all the people that have done voice work in like My Hero or a lot of the other things that I love.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Brian
anime.
Massey is my voice coach. I don't know if you guys know who Brian Massey is, but he's amazing. He's been in My Hero. He's been in Dragon Ball. He's been in tons of different things. But he works with iLight Studios, and he's really who got me where I am. Just through coaching, just through being there, just through being genuine, just being a really awesome guy. Him and James Larrabee, I can't sing their praises enough because, like I said, that's really what got me my start, was just working with them and staying in touch with them, because I met them, like I said, back in 2018, but I didn't do these classes until last year. I just stayed in touch with them. I was trying to go the route of getting a free ride. I was like, hey, can you hear what I can do? And then maybe give me a chance to come into the studio.
Mhm.
Because sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens where you can get, but they're a business too. They've got to make money too. And they've got to feed their families too. And so like, as soon as I did that and got in there and showed them what I could do, like we built a relationship, not just based on, business, but like they're actually, I feel like they're colleagues. Like they introduced me as a voice actor to their families. And I was like, holy crap, I'm not, what just happened here? Like, so.
Well, yeah, and that's one of the reasons why we love talking to people like you and Stephanie and, a lot of the voice actors and just actors themselves and magicians and all sorts of people. It's like, you guys give us an insight as to who you are and how you got there. So those people that are paying attention can go, okay, well, he went this way, this way, this way, and this way, and she went this way and this way. So maybe I can try it that way, and it's just kind of nice to talk to them to find out how you got to where you were, but also who you are as a person. And that's
And it
the part I
also-
love about this.
And also, like she said, depends, because we had Melanie Cohn on, who did the voice of Lucy, and she was what,
8.
10 to 12 years old when she got that part? I
I
thought
thought
it
she
was
was like
10 to
8 or
12.
no, she might have been 9.
Maybe it was
She
9.
said she was the
But
youngest.
she didn't stop pursuing the craft.
Mhm.
She went on to do radio. She went on to do all these other things.
Mhm.
And I'm like, that's what's important. It's like she fell in love with it young. I mean, I fell in love with it young, but then I put it aside. I was just like, meh, you're not good enough, kid. But then, like I said, like it came around, and I was like, you know what? I have to believe in myself and what I can do, and take what other people, the feedback that other people give me, which has been good, and push forward, man. Plus ultra, just go.
And voice
And
acting is like grown massively.
it
recently.
has. The market is huge right now. It's enormous because,
Mhm.
especially because of COVID, like
Mhm.
people have stopped going to studios. Like
Mhm.
Funimation is just now starting to open its doors back up for people to come in. Like mostly it's been from home, and it's like my home setup. Hopefully it sounds okay on this,
Mhm.
but like it's not the best, most professional. I'm in a tiny closet in my house right now.
I thought
And this
you
is
were.
where
I
I
was wondering
record
what the
everything
blanket
at.
is behind you.
Yes, yes. This
I
is a
did an
blanket
interview
from Mexico.
That's what I thought. I have one that's
I
kind of
bought
like
this in
that.
Mexico.
I have one
Okay,
that's like that.
because
I
it's
did
Cowboys colors is why I bought it.
Mm.
Even though I'm
an
ashamed of
interview
them
2
still,
days
I can't
ago,
stop.
and the guy was in the closet.
Mhm.
So,
But yeah,
like,
I've got cut foam all over the walls around me, and like
Mhm.
it's a tiny little space, but this is where I work at. This is where I do what I do.
Soundproofed. That's what you need to do.
You don't have to have the most like great equipment. Like I said, like to be a pro, you get pro equipment, you do all these things to be more professional, but you start out with what you've got. I
Mhm.
started with that little snowball mic and my phone, pretty much, and like that was it. And like I started going, and then as I went along, I've got a little bit better. I got an XLR mic. I got a Scarlett Solo. I just slowly I buy little things and do things to make it sound better. And eventually I'll have a booth, a real booth someday. Dear God, please, dear Lord, please.
But you also
Yeah.
had, and this is crucial, you also had your family support. Like I've had my
Yes.
husband and my sister behind me this whole way through.
I
And it's
could
like you
not have
had
done
your
this
wife.
without my wife.
Yeah, because we hit those
My
points
kids
when we're
could care
starting
less.
where it's like, why am I doing this? And so when the family is supporting and encouraging you to push forward, that helps out immensely. I couldn't have done it without them, either one of them.
Sometimes I'll tell my kids, I'll be like, I met so and so who does the voice of this, and they'll be like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, you don't know how cool that is. Ah! Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? Not my shot. No, I'm just kidding. No, my kids are great. I have one of the three that I think, my youngest, I think he could have the gift, as you say.
Ah.
Like, I mean, I think he could have a knack for theater. He hasn't pursued it yet, but like
You
I
must
see it
train the
in
young
him.
Padawan early.
Wax on, wax off.
No, young Padawan.
Oh, that's you.
No. Yoda. Put your inner Yoda on for young Padawan. Yes.
Look cool they do.
I
Sound
have
great.
Yoda all
do
over
not.
my room.
but
Train the young Padawan early.
one thing I do want to say is, before we end up going here, is one, we finally got our first listener in Melbourne, Australia.
Yes!
Our first
Right from
Australian.
Melbourne.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, you're
So,
from Melbourne.
Thank
I
you.
love it.
So we finally went down under.
Yay. That stop. Don't go.
I wish I had my hat. Like I have an Aussie hat and my little koala. Like we were right on Bruce, and I'm Bruce. Like we're from Melbourne. Like that was a whole bit. Like when I used to do the live streaming thing on Live It or whatever, which was a lot of fun. Like, and again, that was a huge help to the craft, because a lot of it's improv. When you go into a booth for a job, when I went for Luminaria, I had no idea what I was reading for. I had no script ahead of time. You walk into the booth, do this, and they expect you to be able to change on a dime. Be like, I'm going to read it like this. No, I don't want any British. I just want older and maybe Southern. Okay, I'm going to read it like this. I mean, you've just got to be able to turn on a dime. And so cold reading is a great thing to practice. Do improv. Just do improv. I can't stress that enough. If you want to be a voice actor, like hone your craft by doing improv.
Nice.
Well, definitely. We have your website up, dansandoval.net, which thanks to, I believe that's your wife, Martha.
That's my
Sandoval.
beautiful wife. That's my
Okay.
beautiful wife. Again, I can't
Thank you,
do this
Miss
without her.
Martha.
Thank you for posting that. I also posted your YouTube channel. So if anybody wants to go check them out, check
See
out
some
those
fun
places.
stuff on there. There'll be more coming.
There'll be more coming.
More coming.
Hey,
This is-
you
because
never know.
that's part of it with this game too, is like you'll read for something that you actually got the part for, but it'll take 4 to 6 months before it comes out and you can talk about it.
I don't know if
like-
I'd be able to sit on it that long.
It's very hard.
With Luminaria,
because-
it was hard because, and when I did, you can actually see my thing with Morgan. It's on her page. She was doing live signings, and I was like, she was like, you can talk about it. I was like, I can. I didn't know I could yet. Oh my god. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot, like there's stuff that I've done within the last 2 months that I can't talk about yet because it's just not out.
Yeah, it
But
makes
once
sense.
it's there, it's there. So yeah.
Well, congratulations. We're super excited for you. That's
I
awesome.
really
Yes.
appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. It's
And-
just been a blast. It's been fun. I wish Amy could have hung out longer. Cause
Actually, can't wait to have you back on the show so you can tell us more and more and more about what's going
Yeah.
on.
hopefully I will have been to Funimation by then. So if you know anyone, email them. No, I'm just kidding.
There we go.
Thanks so
Till
much,
then, we'll
guys.
see you on
Yeah.
Tuesday.
And we will definitely see you on Tuesday. Until then, everyone,